Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It is Friday night, Friday evening.
Friday evening.
We are right in the middle of the holiday season, and we wanted to talk just for a few minutes today about something that we don't talk about very much,
Right.
and that is grief especially during the holidays, because grief doesn't take a holiday.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
No,
Matter of fact, during the holidays and anniversaries and
yeah.
those special occasions, it kind of hits extra hard.
It does. It does. And it is this is a vulnerable one for us. This hits close to home because we had a really significant loss this year.
Right.
And this is our first holiday season. Moving through trying to, figure things out after our own loss this year.
Right. It's a little crazy, huh?
It is. It is. So we just wanted to talk about, because we don't talk about it,
Right.
and it becomes this taboo thing that people think that they need to try and navigate through on their own, or they need to suck it up and just push through and get over it.
Right.
And unfortunately, grief just doesn't work that way.
No, I think probably the biggest thing is like grief doesn't really have a timeline, does it?
No, it doesn't. And it's interesting because oftentimes when we talk about grief in the office at Harper Therapy, usually we talk about the grief cycle. And we kind of are aware of what that is, right? Where you go through like the shock and denial and the depression and the anger and the bargaining. The bargaining. And that's not a linear process. Like, I wish it were just like step 1, step 2, step 3, but grief doesn't work that way.
No, it's like step 1, step 5, step 1, step 2, step 1.
Yeah, it's like you weave in and out between all of those different components.
It's like it comes in waves too.
It is. I think that there are a lot of metaphors that I use for grief because it's hard to wrap words around it, and just tidal wave of like, it just bam, it's like being in the ocean and you look up and all of a sudden there's this ginormous thing that's just engulfing you,
right?
And you're like pulled by the rip current. That is one of the analogies. I think that for me, navigating through this past several months, it has been like swimming in pea soup. Like, it's not a pleasant analogy, but pea soup is just kind of gray and ick and like clammy and clammy. I don't know. Like I've been in pea soup, but that's what it feels. It feels like you're navigating through this fog,
right?
And oftentimes you find yourself having a hard time thinking clearly,
right?
And oftentimes you feel just big emotions, and all of that is perfectly normal. But again, we don't talk about it. And we don't talk about the fact that there is no timeline for grief. We don't talk about the fact that the first year is the hardest.
Right. Because you have those moments where you're like, oh, things are getting easier. And then, oh, no, they're not. And oh, things are getting easier. And oh, no, they're not. And,
yeah. And especially if as you are navigating through those times of the year, whether it be anniversary or holidays or anniversary dates or birthdays,
right.
Today happens to be a birthday, that it just kind of grabs you again, and you're feeling all the big things again.
Right.
So what we'd like to invite you to do is just think through having some support around your grief experience. Taking good care of yourself. It doesn't do you any good to beat yourself up and say, I should be through this, I should be beyond this.
Right.
If you have people in your life who are telling you that, then create some space from those people. It's not helpful.
Because that's not right.
No, it's not right, and it's not helpful. One of the things that we also don't talk about is just grief as trauma. Losing a loved one is a traumatic event. And in just the way that our brain processes information and stores memories, it's not uncommon, especially if you've had a lot of loss and grief in your life, for those other experiences to kind of bubble up.
Right.
Too.
Right.
we are happy to help at Harper Therapy. One of the things that we do is accelerated resolution therapy. That's been super beneficial for me as I have worked through my own grieving. Right. It can be helpful. There's still the grief that doesn't go away, but it takes away that punch in the gut kind of response.
Yeah, I think it can help. It can help.
Definitely kind of turns the dial down a little bit. Right. So if you have fresh grief this year, know that you're not alone. And I think one of the things, too, that we wanted to share was just as you honor the memory of your loved one, be intentional about honoring your loved one's memory and creating new ones at the same time. Right. That's oftentimes a good way of doing it. So our thoughts are with you. If you are fresh in loss this year, you're not alone. Right. And please feel free to reach out to us if we can be of support. 813-434-3639. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right, guys. Have a good night.